Here with analysis and areas that need improving is my guest, attorney Livia Borak, an expert in open government law with Coast Law Group in Encinitas. And Livia, California got an F in public access to information. What kind of information are we talking about?
This is information as to the right of the public, the executive, judicial, legislative branches in doing their business. The people of the state of California have the right to all of the information about the business that's conducted at the state level. And unfortunately, in some areas we fell short.
I'm going to ask you, where are those transparency? Where do we fall short in those transparency laws?
So specifically with respect to an independent commission to oversee when public records have been withheld inappropriately, and sometimes access to the information electronically, and specifically with respect to falling short in terms of the information and digital age.
Yeah, so lots of things are digitized now. Are there certain laws that could be updated that you'd like to see updated to improve that, especially with digital access?
Yeah, right now the Supreme Court, the California Supreme Court, is considering those types of critical issues. The law has been on the books for a long time, but hasn't stayed current with social media, text messages, the way that people actually communicate today. So when information that is public business is conducted on private methods of communication, that's where some of that information falls short and doesn't get disclosed to the public. So the Supreme Court is actually considering whether those types of communications are within the public records laws.
So are we talking about private emails?
Private emails, text messages, even social media, Facebook messaging, things of that nature.
Well, the state also got a failing grade in judicial accountability. As an attorney, where do you see that evidence? How do you see that?
I see that in the way that trial court judges are selected. I think the fact that we elect judges at the trial court level and have appointments at the appellate court and Supreme Court level, that is indicated in the way that those decisions are come out. The level of sophistication and the level of expertise at the higher levels of the judicial branch are evident because they have an independent commission to make sure that they are suitable for that judicial office.
So do you think the same thing, or do you have suggestions for things that could improve judicial accountability here in California?
Yeah, I think maybe having an independent commission that assesses the credentials of judicial office candidates at the trial court level, or maybe one step further and taking it out of the electorate's hands. It's something that I think is beyond the general citizen to choose who may or may not be an appropriate judicial officer.
Getting back to this report card, is there anything missing from it that you'd like to see investigated?
Yeah, I think one thing that they didn't go into is local and state government open meeting laws. Those are critical and they work in tandem with the public records. So they give insight into the deliberative process at the local and state agency level, and they show why and how our elected officials are making decisions. So getting access to the records is great, and that's wonderful, but also seeing how the elected officials use those records to make decisions and being afforded access to that is also critical.
Of course, journalists and attorneys care very much about transparency in government, but why should your everyday person, why should we care about it?
Well, I think once we stop paying attention, that's when things go wrong. And the individual business owner who wants to get a permit at the local agency, they should have access and they should have an understanding of what the rules are and how they will be applied to them. That's critical. And they should know that when they're paying their taxes, that money is being spent on infrastructure and not being given to friends of the legislators as cronyism, or that there's nepotism going on. So it's critical just for daily functioning, and it impacts our lives on every level to know that the people who we elected, who we voted for, are doing their job.
How would you like to see this investigative report used?
I would like to see the legislative, executive, and judicial branch take a close look at it and make the recommendations that are put forward in that plan, and either do that legislatively or put that to a vote of the public, but more transparency is always better.
All right. I want to let folks know they can see the entire state integrity ranking report at kpbs.org. Livia Borak, thank you so much.
Thank you.